How you doing?
Hey RJ, this is Carlo at 4GQ TV here. It's a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you for your time. Man, I've looked through your IMDb. You've done some really cool stuff. So for this project, would you say was different compared to some of the other stuff you've done?
Yeah, I mean, this one is different because I don't normally tap into the dark side of the serial killer world, but it was a story that we had to tell because the writer had done so much research on true stories of serial killers and how they lure their victims and killed them and the reasons behind it. I mean, it's from even having an abusive father or whatever it may be that triggered these people to become who they were later in their lives. I mean, it's just fascinating, and it was a story we had to tell. But yeah, it was generated from Rich Ronat and his beautiful mind. And once he wrote the script, we knew we had to make it. So that's why this one came together. It also happened during the SAG strike, which was great because we were an independent company, so we were allowed to make the movie with the waiver, and that's how we also got this phenomenal cast and great team as an ensemble to make it. So we made it last year in September in Little Rock, Arkansas.
How long did it take once you started filming?
We shot it all within a month. It was a very tight shoot. We had a lot of scheduling conflicts we had to kind of work through, and we had a very fast prep, which you know I don't normally advise, but we made it work. We had about 2.5 weeks after we got our SAG waiver to make the film go into production. So it was a quick one.
Was there any challenges due to the fact that a strike was going on? You had to get a waiver?
Oh yeah, it was a huge challenge. It took a lot of time, and we had to wait for it and go through the process. But I compliment SAG for not during a strike with the unions and I mean in the studio, the independent filmmakers that are the kind of nitty gritty raw filmmakers had a chance still to make movies, and really appreciated that. So, and I was also in the Screen Actors Guild as a kid, so I'm a huge fan of SAG and very thankful they helped us because look what turned out this movie because of the availability of the actors and the strike, we got to make this movie. So I'm very blessed.
Now, as a director in this, did you go out and research yourself serial killers or interview any serial killers or maybe prisoners to kind of get the
I
idea how
didn't
they
I
should
didn't
be acting?
interview. Yeah, I didn't interview any serial killers. I did research online and saw some interviews they did. But the writer did a lot of research beforehand, and there was a certain few things that even for me triggered even childhood memories of fear. And mannequins always scared me as a kid. So we found that one of the serial killers used that as a device where he would lure his victims in to this private room and would make it like a club scene, and it was just so disturbing. We had to use that in the movie, so we did, and it was great.
And just for the audience, I mean, we have a general idea what a director does, but in something like this, can you tell us in depth the role of a director?
So a director, there's a lot of different things that you have to do in one. It's essentially you have to kind of portray a story and you have to tell that story out to everybody working on the film so they understand what we're doing here. And that's from, obviously the script is the blueprint, right? And then the director helps build the building. And it's also the producing team around us to help that. But from casting to hiring the right production designer, first AD, everybody, the entire art department, camera department, even lenses. We got to choose the look and style from the color correction later to the music, all of that. It's all directed by the director. So I assembled a great DP with the beautiful anamorphic lenses, great cameras. He had a great team. And what you do is you work with the actors, you tell them kind of, how you see the movie. And then you also listen to the actors saying how they portray the character, how they read it, because their interpretation is going to be even better than what I'm even thinking. And that's the job of is casting is everything. Once you cast that person, you know what you're getting from that person once you know them. And that really helped out because this cast, I mean, Alec Baldwin, Terrence Howard, Esai Morales, and Nikki, it's like you're not really directing them. You're more or less watching them and blocking them because they're bringing it. And we would do tweaks on certain performance things just to kind of help with the edit. But it's a phenomenal collaboration of people, and the director's only as good as his team around him or her team around him. And even in the editing process, the editor brings their own vision of it while you're telling them what you want as a director's cut. So it's all collaboration all the way through with everybody, really. It's not just one person. So to look at the director as kind of like the quarterback of the football team, but they're only as good as the team around him.
For the setting of this movie, did you choose like a particular theme, like a darker theme, a lighter theme in moments? Like, how did you see the movie in your vision?
Yeah, it was definitely, it's dark, it's nitty-gritty, raw, small town feel, right? And it's a lot influenced by the church and the Satanic Church. It was the good versus evil. So when we were location scouting and everything, we wanted to make sure that the locations really made you feel that way when you're in it. And there were so many beautiful locations in Little Rock that we found that really make the feel of the film work. And that's kind of even what True Detective did. I think it really did a great job with that. So we really dictated a lot off the locations and look, and our location manager was phenomenal, and the film commissioner of Arkansas, Chris Crane, really helped us find a lot of our locations since we had such a limited time for prep. So we got very lucky. We found the right place to shoot it, and I think that visually it really helped the film, as you said.
When it came to the movie itself, what would you say would be outside of the SAG strike and working with the waiver? What was one of the most difficult things working on a serial killer movie?
It's kind of, you're like thinking about that. You're like, as I'm making this movie, what am I, am I going to be, is people going to think that I'm a fan of everybody, of murders and killings and the dark side, or what? But you just kind of have to let that go and just go in and tell a story, regardless of what the nature of it is. And it's fascinating. And I love the fact that this story had so many twists and turns, and the sexual tension of life, and good versus evil, and the roller coaster ride, and who had done it kind of all the way through. It was so fascinating for me. I just had to make the film. So I really don't think about too much more than, am I going to get the audience through a great journey? Are they going to love this movie? And am I bringing them on an emotion of roller coaster? And if I say yes to all that, then I know we've done something right. Very commercial with our filmmaking. We look at things as very commercial driven. So this one, I think, definitely had that, and we're very happy with the end result.
So on the movie itself, you had some terrific actors, Alec and Terrence, especially. Did they 100% stick to the script, or did you allow any improv into this?
Oh yeah, no, they look so yeah, they both brought, kind of like I said, so that's the great thing about my cast, is that we talk about the character, we talk about the story, and then I sit back and watch them bring it to life. Terrence had a lot of great ideas. He really he got into his character, and he's like, look, my character would do this and that, and he was completely spot on. His intuition was always right. But that happened with a few of the actors, even Esai Morales and Nikki. They all had really good kind of interpretations of the character. And what I do as a director, I let them bring that to life. If they're going to bring something different and it's going to blow our minds and work, we're going to do it. So we would shoot coverage, and if they had an idea, we would shoot it. And that happened, a few times in the movie. And one, for instance, when we're doing the raid in on a scene, it wasn't really quite working, and Terrence just spoke up and he said, look, I see my character would do it like this, and they would be back and come in and follow me, and and then that really, thank God it saved the scene. He was completely spot on with his intuition on that. So it's just a collaboration of beautiful minds working together and making it work.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for watching.